Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. This is our third training on System IO. Today we're talking about sales pages. Um, for if you're doing affiliate marketing, most likely that's going to be, you're going to hear the term a bridge page. In System IO, a bridge page is done by creating what they call a sales page, and we're going to go through and dig right into that. What we're going to do is we're going to take our existing funnel, one-page funnel we built yesterday, and turn it into a two-page funnel. The reason we call it two-page funnel is because there's 2 pages as the whole length of the funnel. You can have funnels that are longer than that, and we can talk in a future video if there's additional questions about that, or maybe at the end about examples of how you can do that. So let's dive right in and see our example from yesterday. So yesterday we created our one-page funnel, which we would basically made a landing page, and I can view the funnel here. This is what we made. Very simple, but this gets the point across. Obviously, you can tailor the design of that to be wherever you want it to be, but we're going to take this and turn this into something that's going to become a 2-page funnel where we can promote an affiliate product directly rather than send people over to our Facebook group. So I'm going to click on landing page, and I'm going to create a step here. I'm going to call this our sales / bridge page. I'm going to choose, I don't want to choose opt-in, I want to choose a sales page. Now, just like before, we have plenty of examples of templates to choose from for a sales page. However, I'm not going to use examples. I have a general idea of what I want it to look like. So I'm going to scroll down here to the blank one here, and I'm going to select that. I'm going to rename the page so I have something that's easy to remember to go off of, and save it, and I can edit my page. Oh, before we do this, let's back up a second. Let's go back to our landing page. Let's adapt our landing page for a second to be something, to be a little differently here. So if we open our landing page we had yesterday, if you remember, the reason it looks smaller here than it does here is because the editor has to compensate for this additional width that's taken away from our settings over here that we have to deal with. We're going to change things around a bit again. We're going to do things a little different than normal. We're going to build this like most affiliates who come through a program where it's a 15-day challenge or 3-day challenge. They'll probably heard of the laptop lifestyle funnel. I do have a video on my YouTube of how to do that, and it's a great example of something you can build with this. However, if you really want to build out your business and do well with this, you need to build a personal brand. And so this example that we have here is a great example of that, because I'm talking about me and who I am. If I wanted to do something like what I had for that one, here's what I would do. I would take out this. I'm going to add a headline up here. I'm going to say, learn exactly how I plan to leave my software engineering job in the next year. This is just an example of a hook that we're going to utilize in order to get people interested in what we're talking about here. Now, I want to change this a bit. I want to get rid of this text. I want to make this very simple here. Get rid of the button. I'm basically going to get rid of everything I've created yesterday, because I know in the example we're using here, we no longer need a 1-page funnel. We now need a 2-page funnel, and I want to have something that I can carry over to my second page. So obviously we're going to have this here. I'm going to throw in another headline text. I'm going to copy the text from somewhere else to make it easier. This is my subheader. One thing I'm going to do different is I'm actually going to change the text here. Now, well, I didn't. Okay, there we go. Now, the cool bit is, before we had a pop-up. well, what if I want a pop up to be there? What if I want to take the stuff right on the page to make it as easy as possible for them to click their email without actually having a pop up come up and make them do extra work? I can quite easily just go over here to form input, click and drag it below. And I'm going to do it again because my personal preference is I like to click both the first name and email. And I'm going to have my button come in here as well. I'm going to click on that button and I'm going to change the width to be full width. And per usual, I don't like the subtext, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to change my text to be yes. I'm going to caps lock it. Yes. Give the instant access. Okay, I'm going to select my first input, change the type to be a first name, and change the second one. Remember, if one time selects it, second time pulls up the settings for it. I'm going to select email. I'm then going to click on the button, click it one time to select it, second time to do it. Send form, that's correct. And then to the next step. By doing that, by saying to the next step, what does that do? What that does is it will then take us to the next step or next page in our funnel. So because our next page in the list, let's listen here, is sales page or a bridge page. When you click that button, once you fill in your name and email, fill in that button, it's going to take you to your bridge page. So now we've done that. That's all we have to do. We have our first page done already. All we did was adapt it from what we had before to be something that would collect the email and send them to the next page. We could have left what we had before, but I wanted an example of something I've done for, say, the 3-day challenge. And that was something I'd done was I'd made a headline just like that. You can, again, adjust the design however you want it to be. I want to keep something simple. So now we're going to go to our bridge page and edit it. Again, like I said before, your bridge page, sales page is the same thing. Just depends on what you want to call it here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take and grab a single row, bring in here, and we're going to take and we're going to grab a 2 column and drop it right below it. Take our section, just like before. We want to make our margins 400 and 400. It's going to look small, but give us something to go on. Just like before, I'm going to take our header that or our hook that we use on the last page, and we use it here on this page by dragging it to this top one here. How I plan to leave my software job in the next year. Now, one of the cool things about a bridge page is we've talked about in the past, and something you probably learned about then where a programming method is to know, like, and trust. That's where someone gets to know you, and through your content, as they feel like they really relate to you, they'll begin to like you and trust you more as they see more of your content. So one way we can do that is by adding a bridge video. So I'm going to click video and drag it in on the left here. Now, if I click the settings for it, I can have a direct link to a YouTube video, or I can upload a video that I might have on my account, because this is a test account. I don't actually have any videos on here. But this is an example of what you can do. There we go. And so you would just put in your video you have here where you're going to record yourself talking about yourself and the product that you're going to send somebody to. A lot of times, like if you're promoting the 3-day challenge or juice box or whatever the case may be, you're going to want to talk about why you are recommending the product, why you feel it's a good fit for the person, and different criteria like that. Basically building their trust out. So for this example, I'm going to add a headline in right here, and I'm going to say spots with Nate Ryan and Moss. This is an example. I want to highlight the text, which I just did that quickly with Control A, and I want to bring that size down a bit. If you remember, because we have that 400 margin on each side, it actually ends up being bigger than what you see on the editor. So don't worry about the new line here. Now, one quick thing, I'm not going to actually fill this out because this is just, I want to give a quick example, is we want to add a bulleted list. I'm going to drop it in below here. And so one thing I would do is something like, let me pull up an example so I can give you an example of what I would put for something like this. So examples of what we might put here is uncover the six-figure business hidden inside your social media. Okay, so you want to cover the benefits or the things that you're going to cover within the program. If you're doing something like 3 challenge, for example, something you might put is learn the #1 business model to launch online, requiring no advanced tech skills. That's just an example of something you can put in there. It's something you do learn within the 3 challenge, but you're just kind of covering the things that you're going to learn within there. Obviously, I'd fill this out more if I was actually building this out. Go further with this. Next thing I want to do is I want to add a button. So I want to call to action on this thing. And so I'm going to say open URL. And this is where my affiliate link goes. Let's put in affiliatelink.com. But that's where this is going to go, is on this button here. Now, just like before, I'm going to remove my subtext. So I have a nice little button here. I'm going to go to the section, just like I did yesterday. And I like doing a hard shadow. That way you get that nice look you normally get. Now, there's 3 things left I really want to do. And something we haven't talked about in the past on one of them. But before we get to that, let's drop in a single row below this. Okay, we're going to add in some text. We're also going to add in a headline above it. Because we're building that know, like, and trust, we're going to tell them a bit about our journey. Tell them a bit about us and why they're going to want to buy from us. So this is actually some text I used for a previous one. This is what I used for the 3-day challenge when I was talking about my journey. I was using a funnel for them. And I'm going to, you'll notice it's all center aligned. There's actually an option to change the alignment so it looks better. Of course, you want to remember to space everything out, because when you copy something in to this, it's going to alter your formatting. So if you have any particular type of like paragraphs you're writing out, you can easily adjust it all as you need to. There we go. And then I'm going to add another button. Just grab another call to action here. I'm going to change it to full width. But I'm going to, again, show open URL. Just go random URL. Move our subtext. But I'm going to add a margin to this and say 300 by 300. So I don't have a full width, but it's about the same width as this right here. We also want to adjust this a bit more, because we don't want this to be too big. We adjust that. That made this way too small. That's something you have to worry about. We're not really worried about, but something you have to keep track of as you do things. If you adjust the container, because this button is inside of this section. So when I make the container smaller, it's going to readjust that margin. So now we have something that we like. And the last thing I want to do, and I don't have an example of this, but the last thing I like to do on every funnel I create is I want to add a text. I want to add below that. Actually, let's take that out because I want to add that in. There we go. And we're just going to call it our privacy policy. Terms and conditions. Disclaimer. You want to add all that in down here on your funnel. You want to also do it on your opt-in page, which we just went over previously. If you go back to our landing page or opt-in page, you want to add one in at the bottom of it as well. We didn't really go over that, but that is just a disclaimer saying, hey, I am going to make a commission off of this if you buy anything through this link. Basically saying you don't promise any results. You know, all the things that you need to cover in order to make sure people are aware that this is, they are presenting their own risk, because you can't promise results at all. So something to be aware of. But now we've got both of those done. If I click the link here and open it up on a tab, we have our opt-in page. If I now go to the sales page, there are full sales page here, or as we like to call it, it's our bridge page. Now, quick note, one thing we did do is we didn't change our text. So let's go back on our sales page. So instead click here, I'm gonna say something like, and this is where your copy comes in. You want to try and think of something that is going to be get people wanting to get started. I like to do something like get started today. Very simple. And this is one of the few times I actually added subtext. And I'll say, I am ready for a life change. And this again can be whatever you want it to be in terms of text, color, whatever the case may be. You can adjust the subtext font size separate from the main font text on the button. So if you want that to be that size and then this one to be larger, yeah, because of how big, make it a bigger button, you can make it whatever you want it to be. Remember that this will point to your affiliate link on the bridge page, whereas on your landing page, your button's going to actually, because we put our opt-in on the page itself, they'll pop up. It's going to say send form. That means it's going to send this data to System O, and then going to say to next step. So it actually goes to the next step in the funnel. And that concludes what I meant to cover for today on how to build the sales page. We did cover a lot yesterday on the, you saw where I had my name right here at the top for the opt-in page. We covered all that yesterday on how to change all those things. If you have any questions about that, be sure to let me know. Tomorrow's topic is actually covering how to make a email list, automated email sequence within System O. We will be covering 2 different ways you can create an email sequence. So hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.